Hello, everybody. I'm Maureen McGuigan, Deputy Director of Arts and Culture for Lackawanna County, and we really appreciate you watching Lackawanna County Arts and Culture Live, the holiday edition. Today, we have a beautiful presentation by Sujata Nair-Mulloth of the Kala School of Indian Classical Dance on Diwali, the Festival of Lights that falls in October or November and is celebrated in several countries. Sujata is a recipient of several of our arts and culture grants for really interesting and beautiful productions on Indian classical dance. But one of the things that I love that she does is she really bridges cultures. She always demonstrates what's unique about a culture's art forms, but then connects it to other cultures. So we really appreciate that. Before I get to this presentation, though, I wanted to give a little plug again for this holiday shopping to be local. We should always be supporting local, but I think it's even more important now that our whole world is turned upside down during this pandemic. So for fun, we decided to showcase some items for our backdrop today. And I should mention the county has a new initiative, LackawannaMarkets.com, since we couldn't have our in-person markets. So there's a lot of great artists and vendors and small businesses on there that you can do your shopping safely from your home. There's a number of initiatives out there. The Scranton Chamber has one in partnership with our County Economic Development Department about shopping local. You can check their website. They have a lot of spotlights and specials that businesses are running. Also, Scranton Tomorrow does a great job promoting shopping in the downtown area for our restaurants and other shops. And I'm sure you all live in neighborhoods around the county, so please support your local businesses there this holiday season. And a lot of vendors have curbside pickup, online delivery, so if you're more comfortable at home, there are options for that. So what we have here today is on my far right is a festive gingerbread house painting by Jennifer Amazon. And this is from the AFA pop-up holiday shop, Artists for Art Gallery, which supports a lot of our artists. They're located at 101 Penn Avenue, and the shop is open on the weekends. And you can check their Facebook page for updates, spotlights, and hours. Next to this is another holiday-esque decoration. This is by Lynn Kujat of Woodside Cottage. This was purchased at the holiday pop-up shop, at the workshop, run by artist Chris Medley. It's at 334 Adams Avenue, and she has a wide selection of items locally made by our artists. That shop will be running through December 19th on Saturdays and Sundays, 11 to 5. But the good news is if you're behind on your shopping, you can also make an appointment to shop up until December 24th. Next to that, we have a candle, since it is Festival of Lights presentation by Designs by Olivia Gray. She is on our market site. She has a lot of beautiful candles, but she also has a great shop up at 206 Depot Street in Clark Summit with a number of other small businesses that are part of that. And she's been doing some pop-up stuff. So, you can shop online for her or go up and visit the shop. It's very safe. Next to that, we have another candle from Noteology, which is located at 401 Spruce Street. They have a lot of great items, lotions and perfumes and a lot of great stuff. They also ship and have curbside pickup. So again, there's lots of places to shop. We just thought it might be fun to use some for our decor today. And on the second shelf, we have on the far right a beautiful painting by Allison LaRussa, who was on our Lackawanna Arts Culture Live show a few months ago. You can find her work on Instagram under Allison LaRussa and Facebook under her name, LAURSSA, and she has an Etsy shop, Etsy. Next to that is Alicia Grega, who was on the same show as Allison, I believe, back in August. She works in many forms, but this is her book of poetry called Nostalgia, kind of a takeoff on the idea of nostalgia. So books, of course, also make wonderful holiday gifts, especially when we have to spend more time at home this year. And there's a lot of great local artists to support. You can actually find her book on Amazon. Even though it's Amazon, it still counts because she's our local artist. So, and next to that, we have a beautiful picture by Paul DeLuca, who was also on our Arts and Culture Live show, actually playing music, but he also is the proprietor of Bank Street Pottery and makes lovely items like that. So you can find him on Instagram as well under Paul DeLuca or Facebook. So that's just a very small showcase of some items you can find. And again, we encourage you, there's all kinds of places to shop local. So with that, we're going to head into this lovely, uplifting presentation on the holiday of Diwali by Sujata Nair-Mulloth.
My name is Sujata Nair-Mulloth, and today I am going to take you to a land far, far away. I'm going to take you to India and to its most popular festival, that is Diwali. Diwali is the festival of lights. Many of you may have heard of it. For some of you, it might be new. But this is an exciting festival which is celebrated by the young and the old, and where everyone enjoys the celebration by lighting lamps or little candles. Now, what is the meaning of the word Diwali? Diwali is a shortened version of the word Deepavali, where the word Deep means lamp and Avali means a row. So Diwali is the festival where homes and businesses and streets are decorated with rows of lamps. Now, what are the kind of lamps that are used? There's a very special kind of lamp that is used. So Diwali is, like I said, the festival of lights, and Diwali is Deep plus the word Avali, which means a garland or a row of lights. Here you see, on Diwali, everyone, especially children, they decorate their homes, their streets with these little lamps. And this is the row of lamps, and this is how they place the lamps in front of their homes or their businesses or on the streets. Now you see that these lamps are of a special shape. They are made of clay and they are cup-shaped. And into this little cup, they pour oil and they have a cotton wick which is lit. And then this is placed around the home. Now, of course, when you have the little cups with oil and the wick needs a lot of oil. So we have to keep adding oil and making sure that the cup is constantly filled with oil, which is which is a lot of work. So nowadays, people have one lamp with the traditional oil, and the rest of them, what they do is that they place a little candle, like you see in the picture, into the cup-shaped lamp, and then they burn that. So it becomes a lot more, it's a lot easier, but it has the same effect. There is the flame, there is the glow, and you still get the effect of the celebration of light. Now, on Diwali, most families and most businesses decorate their homes. Now, those people who have large homes take the advantage of electric lights. So they use electric lights on the rooftops and on their balconies and on their front doors. And on the ground and on the street, what they do is that they put the oil lamps. So they use a combination of electric lights and oil lamps. But even those who don't have a big house like this one, maybe they just live in a small apartment, but they still decorate their entrance with, lamps like you see here in this picture. There's the apartment door, and right in front of that, they have their little lamps with either candles or the oil and the wick. Basically, everyone, whether they have a large home or a small home, or a big business or a small store, what they do is that they decorate it with lamps. Now, during this time, just like we have here, we have performances of song and dance. Now, during Christmas, the Nutcracker performance is very popular. Just like that, in India, we have classical dance performances during the time of Diwali. And all the different artists from the different parts of India, they perform and they organize and choreograph new pieces to celebrate this festival of light and the victory of good over evil. So just like during Christmas time, there are a lot of ballet schools that present shows like the Nutcracker, and those shows are a part of the celebration, the winter celebrations here in this country. So just like that, during Diwali, there are many classical Indian dance performances that are presented by the different dance schools and by different professional dancers. So next, I would like to present a piece of Indian classical dance that is being presented by a professional dancer.
महिषमर्दिनी मधुर भाषिणी अहिनि पवेणी अम्ब त्यागेश मालिनी महिषमर्दिनी मधुर भाषिणी अहिनि पवेणी अम्ब त्यागेश मालिनी महिषमर्दिनी मधुर भाषिणी अहिनि पवेणी अम्ब त्यागेश मालिनी निसरी रे सनी पानी सानी पमगा गम पानी पमगम पानी सा निसरी रे सनी पानी सानी पमगा गम पानी पमगम पानी सा पमगा पानी सा रे सनी पानी सानी पमगा रे सनी पमगा पमगा पानी सा रे सनी पानी सानी पमगा रे सनी पमगा रे सनी सानी पमा नि पमरे पमरे दा भगवानी पदानी रे सनी सन्ना मुदे सल्ला 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 मुदे
I hope you enjoyed that. That was a classical Indian dance performance. So now let's go back to the story of the lamps. Now, like I told you, just to remind you that Diwali is the festival of lamps, and everyone lights lamps in front of their homes and their shops and their stores and businesses. And not only do they decorate outside their home, they also decorate inside. So now most of the homes are decorated not only outside, but also inside. So, you know, people decorate their banisters, they put lamps and decorations on the floor with colored powder and flowers. That is one. And here is another example. You'll see how the floor is beautifully decorated with this symbol, with the picture of the image of a shell. And then around that, they have the little lamps, you know, the cup-shaped lamps with the oil and the wicks. So basically it is, you know, bringing the glow of the flame into the house and outside the house. And that is the main idea. Now the question comes, people ask me, why do they light the lamps? What is the significance of the lamps? And for that, I have a very interesting story for all of you. Now, there is a story from Indian mythology, and it is in this story that the festival of Diwali has its origin. Now, it is believed that long, long ago, there lived a brave warrior king by the name of Rama. He had a beautiful wife named Sita. Now, because of, palace intrigues, what happened was that this brave and benevolent king was sent on exile to the forest for 14 years. So he and his wife, Sita, along with his younger brother, Lakshman, go to the forest, and then they live there. They build a very humble little hut. And in that hut, they lived for about 13 years, and the exile period was nearly getting over, and they were very excited. But then something happened. There was an equally brave but mean king who lived in the island of Sri Lanka. Now, this king heard of the beauty of Sita, the king's wife, and decided to kidnap her. So he came from his island kingdom of Sri Lanka. He came to the forest where they were living, and he kidnapped Sita. Now, the brave King Rama was not having any of that. And so what he did was that he mustered up an army and marched to the island kingdom. There, he fought a long, hard battle with the king, whose name was Ravana. Now, this battle waged for 9 nights and 9 days. And on the 10th day, Rama was able to defeat the mean king Ravana and bring back his wife Sita to safety. So, well, he brought her back to the forest, and by then the 14 years were over. So then Rama, his wife Sita, and his younger brother Lakshmana decide to return back to their kingdom because the exile was over. Now, they walked for nearly 30 days from the forest to their kingdom. And the day, or rather the evening that they returned to the kingdom and they reached the city limits was a dark moon night. It was very dark. There was no moonlight. But the people knew that the king was returning that night with his queen. Now, all the people of the kingdom loved their king, and they wanted to see him return with the queen. So what they did was that they decorated their rooftops with these cup-shaped lanterns and called diyas. Okay, these lanterns are called diyas, and they decorated their rooftops and their streets with these rows of lights, so that when the king and queen walked into the city, everyone was able to see them in the glow of the millions of flames that were coming from the millions of little diyas or little lamps that were lit in the city. So that is the origin, that is the story in which the origin of Diwali rests. Okay, so now it's many, many years. It is a mythological story, and whatever be the beginnings of the story, this small element of lighting the lamps continues even till this day. So that is the story behind Diwali. Now, what do people generally do during Diwali? They get together with family and friends. They take family portraits. That's a time to take family pictures. They visit their grandmas, grandparents, and together they do fun activities. You know, the whole family joins in and, decorates the lamps, decorates the floors, does fun designs on the floor. And generally, it is a time for people to get together with family and friends. Now, it is also, like I said, a great time for the classical dance schools, and they have a lot of performances. But the kids, the students who are learning, who are not yet professionals, they don't want to be left behind. So what they do is they have mini performances on their own. And the next dance that I would like to show you is that of a group of dancers who are aspiring dancers. They are not professionals, they're still learning, but they hope to be performing artists one day. Another very important part of the Diwali celebration is, like in all celebrations, it's food. So many different types of food, both savory and sweet, are prepared for Diwali. One of the most important things which all families make is this, what you see on the screen, and it is called chakri. Chakar means a concentric circle, and that's how this specific dish is shaped. This is a savory dish that is made from rice flour, and it's nice and crunchy, and it is it's like your potato chips, you could say. And then some make it spicy. The children have it less spicy. The adults have the spicier ones. So there are all many different varieties of chakris that are made. Another savory dish that is made is this one, and it's called chivda. Chivda is made with rice flakes. It's very thin rice flakes are sauteed with peanuts and cashew nuts, raisins, and this is another specific dish. And of course, there is a wide variety of sweets that are made, and people exchange, families prepare these and exchange it with friends, relatives, and neighbors. So Diwali is this great celebration, the celebration of light, celebration or the festival of light, where everyone prays to the lamp, and they pray that this glow of the flame will come into their homes and into their hearts, and and for the next coming year that it may stay in their homes. Now, the little kids also don't want to be left behind, with the dancing. So even though they may not be taking professional, classical dance lessons, or even if maybe they just started taking the lessons, but they prepare little dances of their own and present it to family and friends. And the next piece that I am going to show you is dance by the little girls.
संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यानम् ध्यायन्ति योगिनः कामदं मोक्षदं चैव ओङ्काराय नमो नमः ओङ्काराय नमो नमः ओङ्काराय नमो नमः ओङ्काराय नमो नमः नमो नमः नमो नमः नमो नमः नमो नमः
हम सभी में हर किसी के दिल में है वही हो ज़मीन या आसमां हो है हर कहीं रोशनी 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 ये भी उसी का नाम है ये जहां हर उसी का काम है उसने बनाई सबके लिए हैप्पी दिवाली सारे सितारे उसके लिए हैप्पी दिवाली उसने बनाई सबके लिए हैप्पी दिवाली सारे सितारे उसके लिए हैप्पी दिवाली
So that is the story of Diwali. Diwali, Festival of Lights, where people pray to the diya or the flame in the lamp for prosperity and good times on earth. So Diwali is the festival of the victory of good over evil. So just like the good King Rama was victorious over the evil and mean King Ravana, everyone on Diwali prays for the spiritual victory of good over evil, of darkness over light, of light over darkness, and over knowledge over ignorance, and of knowledge over ignorance. So it is this spiritual prayer that people pray for during the festival of Diwali. They pray to the flame that the glow of the flame may come into their homes, may come into their hearts, and may guide them to do what is right, to guide them to make the right decisions, and would help them to live on this earth as good human beings. So that is the festival of Diwali, the festival of lights, Deepavali, a garland of lights.
What a beautiful holiday. We hope you enjoyed that presentation and learned more about Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.
विशुभ मर्दिनी काली जय सिंहवाहिनी